Good afternoon. It's been an absolutely beautiful day in Dorset today, until now, when I've come out for a walk. It's afternoon and it's clouded over. Wouldn't you know it? Anyway, I'm out on a very short walk today. I'm just going to do a little route round a patch of heathland, old style Dorset heathland, which is like a little oasis in the middle of urban sprawl, if I can call it that. We're going to go on a short route around Upton Heath, which is kind of dear to me in many ways. It'd be a short walk. I've not been all that well, so I haven't been able to get out walking for a few days. So I just wanted to do a fairly short walk today. So a few miles, and it's just great to be out, to be honest, even if it has clouded over. Anyway, I'll tell you more as we go. Hope you're going to join me, because it should be a really nice walk. So I'm starting at some mysterious woodlands, where there is a little fairy house and little fairy creatures who look a bit worse the wear, I have to say. And not only that, but over this side there's another creature. Strange one. And a nice little picnic table. I could have a picnic, but I think that's a little bit wet. Oh, and another door. Interesting. Where is this, I wonder? And it does seem there's more doors than this. My fairy friends live in the woods. Can you find their 8 doors? Ooh, I can see lots of creatures. Can we see any more doors, I wonder? So, yes, I said had some health issues that prevented me getting out. I think I said in my previous video that my ankle has been bad recently, and that I think is down to this cold, damp weather. And we've had an awful lot of rain down south. Whilst others have snow, we get rain. But it's not only that. Had some stomach issues as well this week, and I don't know why. Well, you probably may know that in 2023, I think, I had my gallbladder removed. And I suspect it probably stems from that. I don't know whether it's the excesses of the Christmas season that create some issues. I don't know. That's what I'm assuming. But anyway, that's been bad for a few days. So I need to get that back under control again. But yeah, today I've decided I've got to get out and get some air. So I've decided I will come to Upton Heath and do a little walk around an area which is quite dear to me in many ways, for a variety of reasons. So Upton Heath is actually behind these trees, we can't see much of it at the moment, and the sun is, well, you can see the sun is not going to be up for much longer, so we better crack on because I'm going to run out of lights, which seems to be something I do every time I go out. So Upton Heath is a, well, I described it as an oasis, and that's kind of what it is really. You think about centuries gone by, Dorset was covered in heathland, well, heathland and woodlands, I guess. Most of the heathland is gone now, but there are a few patches which are maintained, and one of those is Upton Heath, and it is a nature reserve, wildlife reserve, that's operated or run by the Dorset Wildlife Trust. And it's a bit of a special place for me, partly because I have volunteered with Dorset Wildlife Trust, and my volunteering has usually involved coming over to the heath and helping to clear out well, gorse, holly, silver birch, the kind of things that take over heathland and would turn it into undergrowth, shall we say. But the Dorset Wildlife Trust like to control that and to try and keep the heathland as heathland and, you know, restore it, because there aren't many patches of old heathland remaining. So I'm on the volunteer list, and I've helped to keep the heathland under control. I've had to stop doing it at the moment because I find it's just messes with the ankle, something chronic, because you're kind of bending around, you're walking on uneven surfaces, you're getting into all sorts of awkward angles to cut down trees or whatever, and yeah, it kind of, I found it's made the ankle 10 times worse. So at the moment I'm taking a break from it, which is a shame because it's something I actually enjoy doing. Because you're probably, what, a dozen or 15 of you maybe working in a party, don't necessarily know each other, but there's quite a lot of banter goes on in amongst the work. The blazing fire going to burn off the dead wood and so on, and yeah, it's I think it's a really good community based thing to do, which I've always enjoyed. So we're starting to get the heathland appearing now between the trees. That will head over that way. So this is the edge of the heath. We're going to head across that, just go a short distance up here. And this actually is a Roman road that we're actually walking on right at this moment. In fact, it's a Roman road that I think goes to Badbury Rings, which you'll know from previous videos that there's a confluence of Roman roads that meet at Badbury Rings, and this is one of them. But we're not going to follow it far, because I am going to attempt to go up here. I say attempt, because, as you can see, it is pretty mucky. Well, right, it's got to cross that bit. The other reason this Upton Heath is dear to me is because when I first took up kind of wildlife photography, this is one of the places I used to come because it's a nature reserve, and I've done a few, managed to get a few interesting birds and so on here. I'll see if I can put a couple of pictures up. I remember one day I managed to get a crossbill. We've got the Dartford warbler several times. Dartford warbler, you may know, was almost extinct, but thanks to the Dorset heathlands, it's managed to regroup and grow in numbers again. So this is one of the strongholds of the Dartford warbler. I don't suppose we're likely to see any today, but these gorse bushes are the kind of places they would live, mostly skulking around in the undergrowth, but at times they're going to the top of the gorse bushes and singing their hearts out. And I'm very glad that the paths are maintained here, because this was an absolute nightmare to get across this patch. As you can see, that is deep, but they put a nice little walkway for us. Yeah. Looks like it needed to be longer. One of the problems with this heathland, and probably a lot of heathland I suspect, is that some of the paths, you can follow them and suddenly they'll peter out right in the middle of a boggy area. But once you get to know the paths and which ones are through paths and which ones aren't, you're all right. What we might do is just go up to the viewpoint, which is just up here, and take in the view from the top. And from up here, the views start to reveal themselves. So So in the distance, the range of hills on the skyline is the Purbeck Hills. This side of that you can see Poole Harbour, the water of Poole Harbour, and the buildings of the centre of Poole. So you can see from up here how extensive this heathland is. And yet it's a very small portion of Dorset that still has open heathland. There are a few pockets like this. Anyway, we must head down. You can see the sun is about to disappear. So we're back on the main path again now. Makes life a little bit easier. And the sun has dropped down into a bank of cloud, but it's not a bad sky. So at this juncture we join the old railway line that used to go across the heath. And there's a relic of the railway days, a line-side hut as was. You get a lot of protection in there now, but never mind. So the railway line went that way, and that way headed towards Poole. But our route onwards is this way. But it's not the end of the heathland, it goes across the middle, because the heathland continues across that way. And you can see the kind of work I used to do. I don't know if it came out on the video very well, but there's lots of small saplings self-seeded in there, and that's the kind of thing that we used to cut out. Well, they still do. In fact, the last volunteer day I seem to remember was just before Christmas, and they were actually offering free Christmas trees to the volunteer party because they were cutting down small sapling Christmas trees. Actually, if we just come off the track a little way, you can see how boggy this area gets. It's completely flooded. Makes life very difficult when you're a walker. And so we reach a crossroad of pathways. Down the bottom is the Roman road that we were on earlier. And at the top is the railway line that crosses it. So we've come down to join the Roman road now. A little bit of light appearing in the sky now, a little bit of pink, despite the cloud. Oh, that's rather pretty. It's probably a good place to end the video, I think, because the light is fading fast. So yes, I'm going to end the video at this point with the light fading. And head off back to the car. So thanks so much for coming with me. I hope you've enjoyed this little insight into Upton Heath and a little bit of Dorset's ancient heathland that's still being preserved. I've thoroughly enjoyed being out, even if it was only a fairly short walk. It's just nice to get some air after being unwell and being stuck indoors. So, and I feel much better for it, I have to say. So thanks so much for coming with me. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've loved it as always. But I'm going to say for now, this is me, the Dorset Rambler, saying until next time.